Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back Today show. My name is Ralf Friedrichs and I just want to welcome each and every one. Today we are going to do the final episode for the topic of what chronic alcohol consumption or heavy drinking does to your body, what it does to your organs, what can happen to you. This is the part 3 of the original one that I started a few days ago, which was really dedicated to a good friend of mine who has a friend named Paul Cantor who had issues with heavy drinking vodka, ended up with a stroke, ended up in a nursing home, and is in dire need of your help, of your maybe a few dollars a day to help him with essentials that he might need in life while he's in a nursing home. Please reach out to him. You'll find the information on this particular episode in the credit section. Today's topic is 12 health risks of chronic drinking. And I want to give a shout out to Larry Geese from the Geese Academy. You can absolutely get in touch with him. You'll see his phone number on the credits as well. If you have an addiction, if you need help with an intervention, if you have a loved one with an addiction, get in touch with Larry Geese from the Geese Academy. And again, the information will be on the credits here. Give him a call. He's a good friend of mine. Tell him that you saw his name. You heard about him on the Take Your Back Today show. Take Your Life Back Today show. Also, give a shout out to Global Eyeglasses, where they are focused on saving you money. You can get your glasses at a reasonable price through globaleyeglasses.com. Here's the great thing. I have helped probably over 100 people directly through these videos, through these episodes, with their eyeglasses, as well as maybe with an addiction for themselves or a loved one. They reached out to me at 631-599-0218, and I have guided them towards the right frame, the right lenses, talked about the thinness, talked about transitions, photochromatics, polarization, progressives, line bifocals, explained what a PD is, explained what a prescription means. I was able to help you with your eyeglasses or anyone else by you going to globaleyeglasses.com and then you reaching out to me at 631-599-0218. Let me help you focus on saving money with your eyeglasses. Again, today's topic is 12 health risks of chronic drinking. Number 1, and now I have a lot of this stuff written down, but I also have a board here that I read from. But number 1 on this is going to be anemia. But we're going to just read something directly from the Mayo Clinic. It's no secret that alcohol consumption can cause major health problems, including cirrhosis of the liver and injuries sustained in an automobile. But if you think liver disease and car crashes are the only health risks posed by drinking, think again. Researchers have linked alcohol consumption to more than 60, and I repeat, 60 different diseases. Here are just 12 conditions linked to chronic heavy drinking. Number 1 on the list is anemia. Heavy drinking can cause the number of oxygen-carrying red blood cells to be abnormally low. This condition is known as anemia. Can trigger a host of symptoms: fatigue, breathing, shortness in breath. That is what anemia can do, and that is when you do heavy drinking, that can happen to you. Heavy drinking can also cause cancer. It increases the risk of cancers to the mouth, to the throat, to the voice box, to your liver, breast, esophagus, kidneys, and the list is endless. This is what heavy drinking can do, is escalate and cause cancer. Heavy drinking can also cause cardiovascular disease, especially binge drinking. Makes the platelets more likely to clump together into clots, which can lead to a heart attack, or, like in Paul Cantor's case, a stroke. Cirrhosis is on this list. Alcohol is a toxic to liver cells, which can cause cirrhosis. Dementia. Now listen to this statistic. As people age, their brain shrinks an average about 1.9% per decade. That's considered normal. But drinking speeds that process up. Heavy drinking Binge drinking speeds that process up by 2 times. Depression. Heavy drinking goes hand in hand with depression, but there is a debate on whether depression came and caused heavy drinking or heavy drinking caused depression. That is a debate, an ongoing debate. Seizures. Heavy drinking can cause epilepsy and seizures. Gout, a painful condition. Gout is caused by formation of uric acid crystals in the joints. Very painful to have gout. High blood pressure. Alcohol can disrupt the sympathetic nervous system, which, among other things, controls the constriction and dilation of blood vessels in response to stress, amongst other things. Infectious diseases. Heavy drinking suppresses the immune system, which leaves you open for diseases. Nerve damage. Heavy drinking can cause a form of nerve damage known as alcohol neuropathy, which can produce a painful plus pins and needles feelings within your nervous system. Pancreatitis. Heavy drinking can inflame the pancreas and give stomach irritation, diarrhea, and gallstones. Now this is what I have written down, so now that was the short version. I'm going to read the long version of this now. Anemia is number 1 of the risks of chronic drinking. Heavy drinking can cause a number of oxygen-carrying red blood cells to be abnormally low. The condition is known as anemia. Anemia can trigger a host of symptoms, including fatigue, shortness of breath, lightheadedness. Cancer. Habitual drinking increases the risks of cancer. Scientists believe that the increased risks come from the body when the body converts alcohol into acetaldehyde, a potent carcinogen. Cancer sites linked to alcohol use include the mouth, throat, voice box, esophagus, liver, breast, colorectal region. Cancer risks rises even higher in heavy drinkers, also when they use that in conjunction with tobacco. Cardiovascular disease is number 3. Heavy drinking, especially binge drinking, makes platelets more likely to clump together into blood clots, which can lead to a heart attack or even a stroke. In a landmark study published in 2005, Harvard researchers found that binge drinking doubled the risk of death among people who initially survived a heart attack. Heavy drinking can also cause cardiomyopathy, a potentially deadly condition in which the heart muscle weakens and eventually fails, as well as a heart rhythm abnormalities such as atrial and ventricular fibrillation. That was number 3. Number 4 is going to be cirrhosis, folks. Alcohol is toxic to liver cells, and many heavy drinkers develop cirrhosis, a sometimes lethal condition. But it's hard to predict which drinkers will develop cirrhosis. Some people who drink huge amounts never get cirrhosis, and some who don't drink very much get it. For some unknown reason, women seem to be especially vulnerable to cirrhosis. Number 5 is dementia. As people age, their brains shrink at an average rate of 1.9% per decade. That's considered normal, but heavy drinking speeds the shrinkage of certain key regions in the brain, resulting in memory loss and other symptoms of dementia. Depression is number 6. It's long been known that heavy drinking often goes hand in hand with depression, but there has been a debate of which came first, the drinking or the depression. One theory is that depressed people turn to alcohol and attempt to self-medicate to ease their emotional pain. But a large study from New Zealand showed that it is probably the other way around, that it is heavy drinking that led to depression. Major debate going on, folks. Seizures. Heavy drinking can cause epilepsy and can trigger seizures even in people who don't have epilepsy. It can also interfere with the action of the medications used to treat convulsions. Number 9, or Number 8, gout. A painful condition. Gout is caused by the formation of uric acid crystals in the joints. Although some cases are largely hereditary, alcohol and other dietary factors seem to play a role. Alcohol also seems to aggravate existing cases of gout, so you can inherit this from a family member. High blood pressure. Alcohol can disrupt the sympathetic nervous system, which, among other things, controls the constriction and dilation of blood vessels in response to stress, temperature, exertion, etc. Heavy drinking and binge drinking in particular can cause blood pressure to rise. Over time, this effect became chronic. High blood pressure can lead to many other health problems, including kidney disease, heart disease, and stroke. Infectious diseases. Number 10. Heavy drinking suppresses the immune system, providing a toehold for infections including tuberculosis, pneumonia, HIV and AIDS, and other sexually transmitted diseases, including some that cause infertility. People who drink heavily also are more likely to engage in risky sex. Heavy drinking is associated with threefold increase in the risk of contracting a sexual transmitted disease, Ram says. Number 11, nerve damage. Heavy drinking can cause a form of nerve damage known as alcoholic neuropathy, which can produce a painful pins and needles feeling or numbness in the extremities, as well as muscle weaknesses, inconsistence, constipation, erectile dysfunction, and other problems. Alcohol neuropathy may arise because alcohol is toxic to nerve cells, or because nutritional deficiencies attributed to heavy drinking compromise nerve functions. Number 12, pancreatitis. In addition to causing stomach irritation, gastritis, drinking can inflame the pancreas. Chronic pancreatitis interferes with the digestive process, causing severe abdominal pain and persistent diarrhea, and it's not fixable. Some cases of chronic pancreatitis are triggered by gallstones, but up to 60% stem from alcohol consumption. Folks, if these 12 health risks don't open your eyes, I don't know what will. It is not a secret that alcohol consumption can cause major health problems, including cirrhosis of the liver and injuries sustained in an automobile crash. But if you think liver disease and car crash are the only health risks posed by drinking, think again. Researchers have found that there are over 60 diseases caused by chronic drinking. Anemia is one of them. These are the 12 most common ones. Cancer is another one. Cardiovascular disease is another one. Cirrhosis is another one. Dementia is another one. Depression is another one. Seizures and gout are another 2. High blood pressure, infectious disease, another 2. Nerve damage and pancreatitis, another 2. Those are 12, folks. Why would you purposely want to throw toxic liquids into your body, knowing that you could possibly get anemia, cancer, cardiovascular issues, cirrhosis, dementia, depression, seizures, gout, knowing you could get high blood pressure, infectious disease, nerve damage, and pancreatitis? If you are seriously thinking about cutting down or quitting drinking, these 12 things should motivate you and accelerate your thinking. Case in point, for a year I've been trying to help a friend of mine, and if you've seen my earlier episodes, you've seen that I always mention someone way up north. I've been trying to help this friend of mine, and for quite some time he was very motivated about finding sobriety, about living a sober life, about how to live in recovery. Then, as time went on, he kind of faded into the scenes other than sobriety. He kind of didn't communicate with me in the way of how to live with recovery. Yes, he communicated with me as a friend, through Facebook, through emails, but not talking about sobriety, not learning continuously how to live in recovery. End result? A few days ago I find out that he checked into a rehab center. Yes, that is good news. It is good news that a person has finally, hopefully, reached rock bottom. But the sad thing here is that a whole year went by where we could have worked a little harder, maybe put our thinking caps on a little stronger, together a little stronger, and possibly gotten to him to the point where maybe he didn't have to check into rehab. I can only imagine the reason he checked into rehab is because when he did hit rock bottom, things must have been so terrible for him. He couldn't show up for his job. That's one thing I know for a fact. When it gets to the point you cannot even show up for your job, you cannot even remember what you did last night, or you might have other issues, at that point he did the right thing checking into rehab. But I am very worried for him because let's say the rehab is for 10 days, 30 days, 60 and 90. When he comes out, will he surround himself around the right people that maybe are living the life of sobriety or going through what he's going through, or will he fall back into the old routine? Because if that's the case, if he falls back into the old routine, the old results will come again. Part of living a sober life, part of living in recovery, is making major changes in your lifestyle, in your surroundings, and in your thinking. Change in your lifestyle will be not to drink, not to do drugs. Surroundings would be to find friends that are not drinkers and drug abusers. Because when you sit with a drinker and you sit with a drug, especially in the beginning, like for my friend, the chances of stressors and triggers will cause that relapse. My recommendation to my friend is when you come out, is to continuously find support. I am here, Larry Geese is here, many other people, addiction recovery coaches, are here for people like my friend. But we don't know where you are. I do know where my friend is, where he lives. So when he comes out, I will be there as a crutch. I will be there as a support mechanism. But for the people that are watching me that have these issues and that don't know which way to turn, it is up to you to reach out to me at 844-405-HELP. It is up to you to text me at 631-599-0218 so I can help take your life back. Don't let it get to a point where you have to check into a rehab or a treatment center. Not that that's bad, but sometimes people don't even have that chance because they overdose, because they possibly got in a car crash or killed someone or are in jail. If you have signs of binge drinking, if you're drinking more than 2 to 3 drinks a day, today is the time to make those changes. And I don't want to hear from anyone that, okay, Ralph, I will, but tomorrow, because I am telling you folks, as I sit here, my friend who ended up in a treatment center or a rehab center very easily could have not had a tomorrow, and the same applies to you and to me. The difference is if it does, anything should happen to me by tomorrow, I have changed my whole life. I have learned to live in recovery. I am in the process each and every day of changing for the better, and it is now up to you today to make those changes. 2 things have to happen when you want to make those changes. You need to first put the wall of denial down, let it crumble around you. Once that wall of denial comes crumbling down, you lift a barrier, and then at that point you can finally start working on your addiction. There is no shame in being an alcoholic or a drug abuser. What is shameful is when you don't seek the help that you so desperately need while you're alive. Don't let it come to a point where you can't even get help because it's too late. That is the shameful part. There is no shame in asking people like myself, Larry Geese, for help. There is no shame to going to AA. There is no shame going to a treatment center like my friend. The reason I'm so nervous about him is because he could have let his life end very easily. I am grateful to God that he made it into a treatment center, and I hope and pray to God that he survives. He survives going through this treatment center, and he survives the future in a sober manner. I am so afraid that he comes out of this treatment center and goes back to the old way. For my friend, he happens to have a job that requires for him to be alone a lot. The worst thing for someone coming out of a treatment center, or the worst thing for someone that just hit rock bottom, is to be alone. So I'm worried for him. If I could, if I had a lot of money, I'd travel with him wherever he might go for his job. But I can't. But it is up to him, as much as it is up to you, to reach out to a support channel, to a crutch, to a person or people that live and breathe sobriety daily. Let today be the first day of your new life, and don't keep saying, I will change tomorrow, because as you and I speak right now, or as you watch and I speak, there is somebody closing their eyes and taking their last breath. Those people, did they have a chance for change? If you're watching me right now, you have a chance. Folks, I just want to always remind you that if you have a sober today, I promise you, you'll have a much better tomorrow. And if you start having positive thoughts, you will get positive results. And don't think for 1 minute that when I tell people to change, that it's like a light switch on and off. It's not. All changes, small or big, only happen in small steps, in stages. But as you see those small steps, those stages come into your life, changes will be in your skin color. You become healthier. In your thinking, in your spirituality, in your financial, in your relationships, in your mental status, and your physical status. But they all happen in small steps, and like any change in life, you need to work it. You need to walk the walk and talk the talk of sobriety. Don't walk and talk and do the opposite behind closed doors. Get out of that closet and stop drinking. Get out of that closet and stop doing drugs, and join hand in hand with fellow sober people so you can take your life back. Folks, I hope to God each and every one in my audience has a great day, but more importantly, I hope to God that each and every one in my audience has a sober day, and may God bless you.